Welcome to a broadcast of the recent Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Wednesday morning at the Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings and you are invited to attend. Agendas are posted prior to the meeting at www.loraincounty.us. Click on Departments to see the Commissioners page, then click on View Agenda.
Good morning, everyone. If you'll please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, everyone. This is the Board of County Commissioners meeting for November 20th, 2019. Our inspirational word for the day: let's agree to use all of our energy in getting along with each other. Help others with encouraging words. Don't drag them down by finding fault. And we have our dog this morning with a lot of energy.
Talk about energy. This is kennel number 20. It's like maybe a Min Pin JRT, Jack Russell Terrier mix. A lot of energy. About 1 year old, female, available yesterday. So $66, get them while you can. We got 16 other dogs in the kennel. Thank you.
Okay, with my colleagues, I think we'll do probably our appointment speakers here today. And Madam Clerk, the first one we have scheduled.
Lorain County Prosecutor's Office, the outreach projects, Anne-Marie with Farley and Tracey Graham.
Yeah, so if you'll come forward and use one of the podiums, please.
Farley was pretty quiet with that
Was
other
very
dog
quiet.
in here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? No wonder that dog was hyper.
I don't know if Farley needs a microphone or not.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Tracey Graham. I'm the Project Outreach Coordinator for Dennis Will, the Lorain County Prosecutor. Anne-Marie and I have a program called Project Outreach. What we get to do is to, we developed this last June of 18, correct? We get to branch out with local entities and kind of like build relationships with them so we can better serve our community through communication and building safety skills to help keep them safe within the community. We get to go out and do things with churches, like host community scams, teaching them about the different scams that are out there. We get to go into the schools, and last year we got to help out with, or this year, giving them over 4,300 backpacks to our local schools in our community. And then we also go into different events, like we get to visit different schools, Boys and Girls Club. We go out to the fair each year, just to, again, pass out that information. And this winter, we're going to be forming two different programs, one with the Boys and Girls Club and one with Elyria High School, hopefully getting those kids that are in need of different things. We also have our Arrive Alive that we're going to be doing over the Thanksgiving weekend from Wednesday at 6 p.m. until Sunday at 3 a.m. We will offer rides through Safe and Reliable and through Lyft with different codes, and we are offering up to $60 each ride, or up to $60 each ride, and it will go as long as those codes do last. We have 300 codes that we've purchased for Lyft, and then Safe and Reliable will be unlimited, so they'll be able to use that whenever and however they are in need to do. we will also offer that same program for New Year's Eve night.
Nice.
That's really good.
Very. And this is Anne-Marie, Victor, and of course Farley.
Hey,
Yeah.
So Farley's been working a lot with Project Outreach, but.
you want to grab the podium if you could, Anne Marie?
So he's been kind of integrated into and kind of expanding the whole Project Outreach. Not only, we've gone to schools, like Tracey said, we did the safety towns, so we're gonna try to expand it to more cities in the county. We work a lot with Children's Services, but in addition to that, it's not just the community outreach issues that Farley's working with. Farley's also, he's been working with victims, and I tell everyone all the time, it's really neat, a lot of people on social media, it's really neat to read the stories on the impact that animals have on the emotions of people or sick people. It's truly something different to actually be able to see that firsthand, and it amazes me every single time we are working with a victim or a family. A lot of times we're bringing the families of deceased victims, and we meet with them. And just the way he usually lays across their feet just to make sure they know that he's there and he's not going to leave. So we've worked with, combined with families and individual victims. There's well over 50. He's been utilized in 4 trials. That doesn't exclude the Children's Services hearings that he's been working in. He's been able to go into grand jury a couple times. But it's not just the victims. We also go to Veterans Court. We've been to Recovery Court. We've been to, what was the other court? Judge Walther kind of uses like a mental health, but it's not an official mental health court. So we've been to the mental health court. He loves the Veterans Court. We've worked with the veterans quite a bit this summer. And so a lot of those mentors that they use over in Veterans Court, we've gotten to see over and over and over again. So we're building relationships with a lot of the people in the community, and it's really been an amazing flight for the past year. It really has.
Excellent. I know you take him to a lot of the fairs and festivals and stuff, and it's great to see, he's so reliable and he just kind of fits in no matter where you take him.
Except with the horses at the fair.
Oh, I didn't see that.
He's not too keen on, or the Easter Bunny. He doesn't like the Easter Bunny either. Yeah, so we're going to stay away from that.
Great.
It's amazing.
It is.
Well, we want to thank you for all that you're doing. I think Farley has probably become the most popular celebrity in Lorain County.
By far.
Got to figure out how to sign autographs on behalf of Farley there.
We're getting a little stamp. There's a little paw print on it.
So could I ask you, you've started the Arrive Alive program, which I think is wonderful. That's a great program. What kind of, and I know it takes a while before it catches on, but what kind of numbers are you seeing?
Wow. So we started this St. Patrick's Day, and
Yes.
we did a little over, I think it was 313 rides.
Wow.
That we did. Pretty amazing. And they can only be picked up in Lorain County and dropped off in Lorain County. So there's no, bar hopping, to other cities. We did this for the 4th of July weekend. We went from, I don't remember exactly what day, but we did it it was the day before the 4th of July through the 5th. Mm-hmm. And we did over 242 rides.
Nice.
Which was very nice. We are definitely thinking we're going to go over what we had done for the Thanksgiving weekend, because that is pretty much the biggest party weekend that we have, unfortunately. So we're hoping to exceed that number.
Excellent. That's a great program.
It is, absolutely.
We're pleased you did that. Also, I noticed that this morning, just on the news, they're anticipating a higher than normal volume of scamming with gift cards. Have you got anything in the books for either education or anything to get the word out to folks so that they are aware, because this is the highest time period for the purchase of gift cards, and it seems like it's an easy scam.
I'm going to agree with that. I don't know that we've received any information, but we are putting out a newsletter come December, and those are one of the things that we're talking about are, scams over the holiday, how I order off of Amazon on a daily, it seems like. So that's definitely something we were going into, is more of the computer
Education.
side of it, yes. But we haven't received any information, but
Okay, what I saw
Probably should be
is
something
they
like that.
actually, people will go into a store, they'll pocket the card, they'll get out of the store, they swipe all the information, go back and put the card back. Somebody buys it and it's altered and they don't have any funds, but, so
Wow.
that's alarming.
that's very alarming. I know they do that with your credit cards. I
Yes.
didn't know that they could do that with a gift card, so that's definitely something we might want to look into before we put that
Right,
newsletter out.
and I'm sure, retail environments are gonna start putting those cards in harder to access areas, but
Right.
you think of Giant Eagle, and they say it's so
Absolutely.
simply done. Also, great program with the backpacks.
Thanks.
That was wonderful. I know you ran into a little glitch in Lorain, but Commissioner Lundy and I were over at Boys and Girls Club where they repurposed them, and they were just delighted to receive those, so that was great.
It was amazing, and we are actually down to, we had 4,300, a little over 4,300 bags that we put out, and I believe the Boys and Girls Club, we ended up giving them 1,800 of them.
Yeah.
I think they said yesterday they have like 92 of them left.
Nice.
So
Very
it's
good,
very
good
nice,
work.
and we were able
Just
to
good work.
distribute them everywhere throughout Lorain County versus just the 3 school districts, so it did really work out in the end.
Thank you for everything.
Absolutely, thank you.
You guys are very proactive, and especially with the rides that you're giving people, there's no excuse to drive intoxicated anymore. Between what you guys are doing for free and Lyft and Uber and all the options out there for people, and I just gotta say, I love Farley, and everybody loves
We all
Farley,
do.
and he is just a calming force in the county.
Well,
so.
he's spoiled still.
I'm
He
sure
is
he
very
is
spoiled. He is such a good dog, though.
He's got a little something for you guys.
Oh.
Oh,
Can we come down
should
there?
we come down?
If you want to.
Yeah.
We'll get a picture.
I'll meet you guys over the.
Very cute.
Yeah, sorry we stepped out of camera range there for the picture. Yeah, on the backpacks, I can tell you, it was just great seeing all the smiling faces of the students, and you don't know how much Dennis Will's office and all of you made their day for a lot of kids. And people don't realize how expensive backpacks and school supplies are. I know I bought a few of them through my church for students, and it's easily $50-$75 once you get a good backpack and fill it up. So it really made a big difference. And on those gift cards, we hope when people buy the gift cards, they shop our local merchants here in Lorain
Yes.
County. So, but can't thank the prosecutor enough for all that he does. So we're also thrilled he made the decision to run for re-election. So we're very happy about that. So are you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Okay. Next, Madam Clerk.
I'm not sure if there are any comments on the grant proposal for the draft analysis of the brownfield cleanup alternates for former E&L transportation facility Lorain Revitalization Corporation intends to apply for the 2020 U.S. EAP grant in the amount of $326,000.
And Don, do you want to give us an update on that? So this is our application for US EPA grant, a pretty significant amount of money.
Yeah, for cleanup of the E&L transport, this is a project that we've collaborated with the Land Bank on, or Lorain County Land Rehabilitation Corp., where they had acquired the land on tax foreclosure. In our previous EPA grant, an assessment, we were able to determine what was going on with the property, and in order to complete much of the assessment, we ended up removing several tanks. We have determined additional work to be done. The general fund has put some money in to facilitate, and we've had some businesses interested. And I believe the Port Authority is actually generating a little bit of revenue right now as well. So we're working on bringing this property into back in full use and productive use to generate revenue for the community and support job creation.
Perfect.
I do have Reese and Jerry Good here. Reese is actually working on the application itself if you have any specific questions, but it's pretty straightforward. We have not received any comments from the general public.
Okay.
This is like the third round, right? We've already remediated twice on this property?
This would be the final. We did the assessment phase one, we did phase two assessment with tank removal. We still have some tanks in the ground that need to be removed, and this would facilitate that removal.
Let me point out that this property was in significant disrepair. The building itself is still in disrepair, but the remediation that had to be done on this property wouldn't have been done by anybody else. The tax bill never would have been recovered on this property. It was in the several hundreds of thousands of dollars. The property had laid barren and abandoned for a number of, well over a decade.
Yes.
And contaminated beyond anybody coming in and purchasing the land and cleaning it up for productive use. So we claimed it off the tax rolls and began the process of trying to bring in federal dollars to repurpose the property and hopefully one day bring it back into productive use within the community. And that was the only way, otherwise it would have sat there as a contaminated site for decades to come. So I'm hopeful this should be the last cleanup after
If we're funded, this would take us to a no further action letter from Ohio EPA, which would essentially mean that we've cleaned it up to a point where it can be reused without worrying about environmental liability.
What do we have, about 9 acres out there, 11 acres?
Oh, it's larger than that. I think the usable area might be that, but it's got some undeveloped land in the back. It's got an odd shape, and then it crosses a major ditch. So the front, in the back, and then in the front along Baumhart, you got to go quite a bit. It extends to Baumhart, but there's a road there that's in poor repair that eventually we'll need to work with the city of Lorain to have them rehab if we get a real.
Is that a private road or is that a?
If I recall correct, it's a public road.
But we've been working on this. Right now we have First Energy staging there for work they're doing on the grid. So they're paying some revenue for staging all of their stuff. There's a lot of hard surface there. So they want to use the hard surface for staging off of. So they're working out of the land there on the hard surface, which will not interfere with the work we have to do.
Correct.
So it's generating a little bit of revenue, and at the same time we're working on the remediation. I hope we get this round, and then we can repurpose that property. And of course this is in the city of Lorain, so we're doing some work up there in the city. It's a good project.
As a challenge we run into in Ohio, being an industrial state, we have a lot of locations that are like this across the state. I'm just trying to remember where we are currently at in Ohio as it relates to Ohio's brownfield initiatives. I thought a lot of that was moved under Jobs Ohio, and I thought there was was there a lapse that took place as far as going to Ohio voters to support that initiative?
That I do not know, but what was originally brought forward as a Clean Ohio Fund, and it had two sides, the Green Trail Park side, as well as then the Brownfield redevelopment side. The Brownfield redevelopment side has been transferred to operation under Jobs Ohio, and they, after a period of 2 years while Jobs Ohio was standing up, and then they figured out what to do with the Brownfield program, they have changed it so it's a combination now of some grant money and a lot of loan money. And so they've looked at using the Clean Ohio funds on the brownfield cleanup. The grant is to try and capture that difference in cost between a greenfield and a brownfield. I don't think they've got the formula right yet. And so the program has not been as impactful as Clean Ohio had been in the past.
I know there were concerns about that. So, okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Well,
Looks
thank
like
you
another
very much.
Development opportunity, just have to get it cleaned up.
And this grant will be submitted by December 3rd. So we should hear about funding sometime probably spring of next year, hopefully.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good work.
Okay, Madam Clerk, I guess we're ready for our agenda items.
Under resolutions number 1, investments.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Appropriations.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Transfers.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
No advances, no repayments, requisitions.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kowski,
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Travel,
So move.
Second.
discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kowski,
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Bills,
So move.
Second.
discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kowski,
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Authorize various personal actions as indicated on the summary sheet for employees within jurisdiction of Lorraine County Commissioners.
Good morning, County Administrator Jim Cortez.
Good morning, Commissioner. I do have a few personnel issues, specifically some potential hires at Job and Family Services and possibly in maintenance that I wish to discuss with the board. Also, I may talk about the beginning soon, hopefully. I haven't gotten a notice to negotiate yet, but I do know I've been talking to Chris Martinez about the 911 contract. We have a little bit of time. We had an executive session yesterday, so we did go over a few issues, but so it should be short this morning. But I'd like to talk about those issues and one pending legal matter. All those topics are allowable under the Sunshine Act for executive session discussion. So I ask at the conclusion of our regular board meeting, we go into executive session and discuss those matters that I've explained. Thank you.
And I do know that we have an 11 o'clock event at our solid waste facility, collection center. So
We'll just take a break.
I'm thinking we'll probably recess and then come back and then go into executive session.
Yeah, I figure we'll be out there for about
Right.
45 minutes.
Okay, that's fine.
Approve and waive the reading of the minutes of October 22nd, November 13th.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Authorize payment of $1,000 to Andrews Crematory and Funeral Home, Lorain, to pay for indigent veteran Dwayne Dale Sarvis, Lorain, in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 5901.25.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Solid Waste extend contract with Liberty Tire Recycling LLC in Minerva, Ohio for scrap tire collection and processing for the year 2020.
So move.
Second.
Discussion.
I do have a question, not about this particular, but we usually have agricultural tire collections, and I know 2019 we didn't. We usually get like a grant for maybe 30,000 or so to put that on. Did we not get the grant this year, and are we planning for next year? Do you know?
I'll have to check on it. I really don't have it doesn't happen often, but I don't have an answer.
Okay.
And I do recall that we've gotten a couple grants to do the agricultural
About every year
tires.
we've done an ag collection.
There may not have-
It came up at a recent meeting, and there was a lapse for some reason. I'm trying to remember what the lapse
grant?
was. I thought there was something involving the state that brought about the lapse.
You know, who's on the solid waste committee?
Mr. Lundy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the representative from.
Notice how I hit that ball over the net.
Got nervous. I thought, is that me?
Well, maybe we could check, I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with this particular
Right.
thing, I guess. I don't know if they're the ones that get the ag center.
Yeah, normally we get an announcement, we'd apply for a grant to do that because it's really not a priority under the solid waste plan to do ag tires. So when the grant cycle comes around, we would have applied for a grant had it been an announcement. We always apply for every
Right.
grant that's announced, but I'll find out what went on with it.
And people don't realize just how many of those tires we get. I don't remember the numbers, but I know there's a lot of them, and I know the logistics because of just trying to transport these huge tires. So I know there were a lot of logistical concerns that were being worked through, and I think that may have led to the delay because I think there was some logistics to work through.
Yeah, again, if it was an announcement by the state on a grant for ag tires, we definitely would have applied.
There was also, if I remember, there's starting to come back to me. I thought there was a provision in there by the state that if you didn't collect a certain amount of tires, then you were obligated to pay something back to the state on the grant, something of that nature.
I'll find out. The
So-
problem with ag tires is so big.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Almost without exception, the light truck and auto tires, they're moved by hand and onto the pallets, and when they're palletized, we move them with the front loader. But ag tires are used; they have to be usually moved with front loaders or several people. So a collection of large ag tires takes a lot of effort, and then transporting. We spend a lot of money transporting tires. As you know, this contract is here. We've looked into everything from actually buying our own trailers, the trailers, so that we can have them loaded and then transported, picked up. Couldn't find a cost-effective way of doing it other than contracting. And even the contracting is significantly costly. It's probably one of our most costly things that we do, and it's never ending. Every time I turn around, we find another illegal small tire dump somewhere. People just putting tires everywhere. I don't quite understand it, but it seems to be epidemic and continuing.
Is there any type of a recycle initiative that we could do within the county?
We looked at tire shredding, opening up our own tire shredding facility. In fact, we looked at opening it up on the piece of property we were talking about earlier. By the time we figured all the costs of all the specialized equipment to make what would more than likely be feeder material, we could go to feeder material that makes rubberized mulch. And you break it down into various size pellets. And then you got to find a market for who wants the different size rubber pellets. The equipment's very expensive. Then you got to operate the equipment, and then do we get enough volume? And then do we have enough market to take it to? We couldn't find a cost model that actually worked for us. Just like the organics, we were looking at an organics facility, trying to have enough feed, and then be in a location. And then if you can get enough feed, then have a market for the byproduct that we were producing and the aftermarket product. We couldn't make that model work either. We spent quite a bit of time and money, studying that, and we were still best placed where we are now.
Got it. Just question.
Yeah, I don't like being the last county, but sometimes being the first county isn't.
It's not always good.
Not always good either. I don't know of any counties that are running their own shredding facilities and doing that kind of work right now.
To purchase bags of rubber mulch is very expensive.
It is. We've used it with some success. If you look out in our planters with the trees, and in the right application, it's really a good product. But for most everyday application for a homeowner, it's a hard product to use because it's hard to get debris out of and leaves out of and things like that. But in models where there's not a lot of debris that accumulates and not a lot of cleaning and other growth, it's actually a superior product. So it all depends on the application.
It'll last forever.
So they say. We'll see. We'll see how long the coloration lasts. For most people, it's more the coloration, and it makes a good alternative in playgrounds where.
We did that for that school back there on Dewey.
We did, then it closed.
Yeah.
So
Let's go get that mulch out of there.
Well, maybe we can get liberty to expand into Lorain County.
Maybe one day they will.
Yeah.
Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kokoski?
Aye.
Ms. Sweda?
Aye.
Sanitary advertised notice for bids on Brentwood Lake, wastewater treatment plant, UV disinfection, conversion, Carlisle Township, notice being in the Chronicle November 22nd and 29th, and open at 2 p.m. at December 10th.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Ms. Sweda?
Aye.
Workforce authorized said payments to be made for various programmatic and administrative costs that are available through REA, effective retroactive July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2021, and TANF, effective retroactive October 1st, 2019 through September 30th, 2020.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Ms. Sweda?
Aye.
Approve and enter an MOU with Manufacturing Council to serve as an affiliate partner of the Manufacturing Sector Partnership for Public Workforce System, Education and Training Providers, Economic Development, and Social Service Agencies.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy,
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Ms. Sweda?
Aye.
Approve and enter an MOU with Sheriff's Office and Firelands Vocational Rehab Services to participate in the Inmate Job Readiness and Career Exploration Program, effective retroactive November 1st, 2019 through February 22nd, 2022.
So move.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, I've got we'll be issuing a press release today regarding item number 15. The Lorain County Board of Commissioners, through the Workforce Development Agency, will be entering into a memorandum of understanding with the Lorain County Sheriff's Office and also Firelands Vocational Rehabilitation Services that will focus on assisting inmates who participate in this program in reducing identified barriers to be better prepared to seek, gain, and maintain employment upon release to the community. With the funding that's being made available through a federal grant, Firelands will provide access to an employment specialist who will be working with the inmates who are identified by the Sheriff's Office staff as being appropriate for the program, with the focus being on those who have a minimum sentence of 45 days for misdemeanor charges and inmates receiving medication-assisted treatment services at the county jail. These inmates will take part in a job club while still incarcerated that Firelands will provide, which will focus on job readiness skills in addition to allowing for assistance with career exploration. Also working with the Ohio Means Jobs Center. So I think this is it's a good partnership. I know that I used to receive letters from individuals who had run-ins with the law and who had spent time behind bars talking about how, they were sorry for what they had done, very much aware of the wrongdoing they had committed, and how they so much wanted to turn around their lives, but they just couldn't find people who were willing to employ them. And so hopefully through a program like this, we can prepare them to get into the workforce and put their past behind them and lead a more productive life.
And very often those are very young adults.
Yes.
And to give them, it's almost like giving them a life sentence.
Yeah.
If they serve time at a very young age for a misdemeanor or something small, and then they're battling that history.
Yeah, I think when we're all young, we do crazy things, stupid things, and we look back later and say, why in the world do we do those things?
Like sometime maybe in the future for this to even affect people with felonies, not just
Right.
misdemeanors too, because, and they're talking about MAT, so a lot of this is probably drug related.
Right.
People that made mistakes and they're trying to turn their life around. So, I know firsthand how hard that is, but it absolutely can be done.
That's right. And we do need to give that hand up.
Mm-hmm. Good,
You
great
guys-
program.
You guys remember Ricky? Ricky who stole our car?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ricky. Yes.
And, Ricky who I chased through the building years ago.
Sat down on him, kept him until the police showed up.
Yeah, it was about 50 pounds ago, It
Yeah.
was before the cancer and everything else. And, Ricky ended up going to jail. He came out after jail, had rehabbed in jail, and he stopped by right after he got out of jail, and we put him on our program with from IDES grant, from IDES, where we were using the high-risk folks, those that were actually re-entering at the time, and we put him on that program when he came to see us, and he worked for us for quite a while, and then he went off and kind of lost touch with Ricky, and we wondered what happened to him, and he showed up about 4 weeks ago and stopped by to visit, and he's still doing okay. He just happened to be in town, and he stopped up and said hi, and he's got a child now, and he's working still and still clean. It's been a couple of years, but it all started with getting programming and then having some ability to work.
Right.
When he came back, and so he seemed to be doing okay, and it's been several years now. So key to beating recidivism is the ability to work.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of yourself.
Get someplace to live, and of course we know what the third piece of the puzzle is: transportation to employment.
Right.
So we got to work on those three things, because even when there is jobs to be had, getting to them sometimes more than sometimes is very challenging.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
gotta
know
be.
that well too.
It's important to give people second chances, yeah. It's
I was
really-
Mama Uber for a very long time.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Children's Services authorized various personnel to utilize the agency's MasterCard for the year 2019, not to exceed $2,500 for permissible expenses in accordance with the policy.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Engineer, conform boundaries to the City of Oberlin from Pittsfield Township consisting of 1.446 acres, filed by Law Director John Clark.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Public comment.
Anyone wishing to address the board this morning, yes, please come forward. We do have 3 minutes reserved for you.
Good morning, commissioners, elected and appointed officials. Over 100 years ago in Lorain County, Ohio, to the best of the records I have read on its history, we had transportation for all, trains and trolley cars for public use. Then cars came and buses. Transportation is still good for many, and it is not for a growing number. Should we live in the past? Does that work for transportation? Looking at the days that have been and forgetting about the lack and cruelty of no buses in the present day? There are some of us who overpaid for our homes before the housing crisis and must stay here or lose our homes to the bank as our old cars fall apart. No substitute system of buses with excellent schedules to help us save and function during hard times. How do we get to physical therapy? Our doctors? Can we live without food? You as commissioners need creative ideas for a full bus service and not by putting more property taxes on poor people's homes. Yes, others pay, but we can't. The younger people struggle to get to jobs and procure a good future. Our county became prosperous in the past. That's how cities grow, through transportation. Another winter is here, my 4th winter coming here, of saying I don't want to see one more person walking blocks and miles in the snow with the wrong kind of shoes, thin jackets, and no scarf freezing. The Inuit peoples of the frozen north, I'm from Minnesota, so we think in terms like that, used to put their old people out on the ice floe to die. Is that what this county has become? People say I'm exaggerating, who are in power, when I talk about others who suffer. Yes, I speak other places for years, but life is dramatic and needs to be dealt with. No more tax issues didn't pass. Be creative. Start anew now. Thank you.
Thank you. Others wishing to address the board this morning? Seeing none?
Mr. Cortez?
I have no additional comments. Well, thank you.
Mr. Innes?
I just have one matter of pending litigation to discuss with the commissioners in an executive session.
Commissioners?
Well, last Wednesday after our meeting, we all went to the Antlers to attend Chief Sal Rivera's retirement party. It was a very nice event. We honored him with the Lorain County Law Enforcement and Firefighters Memorial flag that had been flown over our memorial. We also gave him a copy of the CD of the day that we dedicated the memorial, along with the proclamation, and he was very appreciative of all of that. Friday, I attended the County Commissioners Association board meeting in Columbus, and we had representatives in there to talk about the opioid litigation and how the state would like to divide the settlement dollars up. They're looking at a 15%, 70% split. Of course, the state getting the 70%, which is totally unacceptable. I told them how much it reminded me of the $2 billion in rainy day fund the previous administration sat on while it was pouring down rain in all of our communities, and they took our local government funds while we grappled with the cost of what this impact of this epidemic has had on almost every department in the county. And I just read in the CCO newsletter that there is a $350 million study to analyze drug intervention. We are a SOS community, we're a HIDA community, and are not receiving any of that money. $350 million would go a long way towards treatment facility or just towards treatment for people. And let the medical community study this and give us the money to help people. It's just so frustrating. Saturday was my retired assistant Joyce Park's celebration of life. She was a wonderful person and will be missed by anyone who knew her. Sunday, my son Jordan and I went to Road to Hope for a breakfast fundraiser, and they also had a car raffle. And they are a great asset to our community, and one of the few certified recovery housing agencies that we have around. And then yesterday we had 2 ditch hearings, which were both pretty quick, and we just postponed them to a later date. Hopefully those will get done soon. So, end of my report.
I would just, echo your thoughts concerning all these settlement dollars. I know I got a call from a representative of the governor's office the other day, and I said, well, the first thing is, well, we certainly don't want this money staying in Columbus. I also pointed out that we're not happy about being designated an SOS in Haida community, county, a federal designation that hardly any other county in the country has. We're one of the few. It's
You'd
not
think that would entitle us to
Exactly.
some additional dollars, but it's not. We're seeing nothing.
Exactly. But we've seen this all too often out of Columbus. And I used to say when I was a legislator, I don't know why the legislature and the people in Columbus think they're smarter and know a community better than the people who are actually in the community and work with the issues each and every day.
Can I just say, at my board meeting, the majority of the people sitting around the table are Republicans, and they're not happy about it either. So it's not a partisan thing, it's a community thing. So.
Yes.
And, we've already said that, the settlement dollars are to be directed towards dealing with the epidemic, not used in other ways. And, we're committed to doing that. But the state basically needs to keep their hands off of dollars that are needed here to address our epidemic. And we know how to invest those dollars better than they do. And everybody at election time talks about how we're going to help with the epidemic, and then the dollars don't follow. So it's you better walk the talk. You're talking about it, but you're definitely not walking the talk. So I couldn't agree with you more, and I really conveyed that message strongly to the representative from the governor's office as well. So just want to also echo your thoughts on Sal Rivera. I have really enjoyed working with him. I know there's been a number of issues through El Centro, especially when we were dealing with people being rounded up and parents separated from their kids and all that ugly, cold-hearted activity that's going on at the federal level through our president. But the local community is feeling the impact of it. But Sal has got a good heart. His head and heart are in the right place, always have been. And, under the code the code adopted by those in law enforcement, one of their first responsibilities is to take care of mankind, and he certainly has exercised that each and every day. And he's very big into social justice, and I can't say enough good words about him and how he will be missed in that leadership role. He says he's taking a little bit of a sabbatical, but he will be back, so it'll be interesting to see how we can plug him in to continue to help with issues in the community. Had the opportunity to sit down with a couple of consultants from the Lorain County Historical Society. Apparently they're working on a strategic plan and trying to figure out how to better connect with the community. Can't say enough good words about the Lorain County Historical Society. I know we enjoyed working closely with them when we've been making renovations and changes with the courthouse, and they do a great job of preserving our history. And I know when I was a state rep, I really enjoyed working closely with them as we managed to bring some dollars back to the community to be used for the Star House. And if you had not had the opportunity to go to the Star House, the County History Museum on Washington, it's well worth the trip. This county has a lot of great history, a lot of rich history that a lot of folks don't know even happened here in Lorain County, but you'll learn about it over there. Also had the opportunity to grab lunch with the Mayor-elect Frank Whitfield of Elyria, and looking forward to working with the new mayor. I think we'll have a very good working relationship, and we're also looking forward to joining members of the media at our recycling center here at 11 o'clock this morning, so that you can see a lot of the great things that are happening over there, new investments that have been made to make it more user-friendly. And very few counties can brag or talk about having a recycling center as effective as ours. And you got to get out and utilize it and experience it. It's an amazing operation. It's really good. I normally don't toot the horn that loud, but it is a great operation.
Well, we were going to do public open house, but it dawned on us that it's open to the public all the time. So,
Well, not all the time, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday.
okay, I stand corrected, Commissioner, thank you very much.
It's not prohibited.
But the facility is available for public use.
Correct.
So anybody that would like to see the facility in use just needs to bring their recyclables over, and they get a tour by virtue of accessing the facility. But we wanted to give a more in-depth presentation for our friends in the media to see the improvements we've made, talk about some of the additional improvements that will be coming, because there's more to come. And I would like to say I think we have the best facility right now in the state of Ohio. We do get lots of visitors that come up here to look at our model. In fact, later this month, Cuyahoga County is coming over with a contingency of folks to see what we got going on here in Lorain County, so that they can look towards what they want to do in Cuyahoga, which is really great. When the second largest, they used to be the largest, but now they're the second largest county is coming to model after us. That makes me very proud.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
That completes my report.
Okay, just my final comments on the retirement party for Sal Rivero is that I think they're wearing him out a little bit.
I've seen him like 3 times and said goodbye 3
And
times.
tomorrow night, FOP is honoring him at another event. So, enough said on that. We just are in such gratitude for all the work he's done and his love of community. I also had an opportunity to separately meet with Mayor-elect Frank Whitfield. I look forward to the desire on his behalf for collaboration, partnership, relationships with the county. I've said it before, we share the same geography with Elyria. We should share a lot of the same interest and passion and direction for the city. On Friday, I attended the Lorain County Senior Transportation Forum, and this may, did we lose Ms. Shay? No, Ms. Shay is still here. This may be of special interest for you, Ms. Shay. We had representatives from most of the nonprofits. We discussed how we are implementing, at this time, vouchers, how we need to expand what Medicaid will provide. Obviously, Oberlin has a 2-day, I think, 2 days, Jim, that they run a full service in Oberlin, but that's Oberlin's buy-in. They do pay for that.
Oberlin has been a really great partner for a very long period of time, decades.
Right.
Where they bring funding, and then we match it with federal transportation dollars, and those match dollars, along with Oberlin's dollars, all go to their commuter service in Oberlin. And they've increased those dollars over the years.
Right.
They have decided their routing in Oberlin, what works for their community. So I can't speak enough to their desire to provide
Make
a
it happen.
solution in their community. Each community is capable of doing that within their community and working with us to leverage their dollars to provide services within their area. And we've offered that and continue to offer that. And we can also do that with private providers, nursing home providers, social service agencies. Employers are a little harder. We could work collaboratively with them. We have met with them. I met with the Kendall folks and a few of those social services providers, and I mapped out a model similar. We work with Metro Housing a couple times a month. We run a route that's open to everybody, that anybody can get on. So we can leverage those things, and Oberlin is a model that works particularly well. And we've talked to other communities; they just don't want to bring. They don't want to bring local dollars to the table. They've been reluctant to do so. Mm-hmm. Recognizing when we get advertising dollars, that leverages. So we encourage people that are using advertising dollars in any programs. They advertise with our buses, on our buses. That also leverages dollars. That gets us more federal dollars. I want to thank the veterans.
Right.
They're advertising with us. That leverages dollars. They're paying us a stipend to let veterans ride rather than using tickets, which is something they did before. Farebox doesn't do us a lot because it's not able to be matched. Investing like Oberlin does, and that's what the veterans are doing, allows us to match those dollars. So we have to be very creative. And of course, we're using Job and Family Services dollars. They're a particular pool of dollars that can be federal. There are very few federal dollars that can match other federal dollars. So where do we get the benefit of those federal dollars from Job and Family Services to the federal transportation dollars? Well, that's why the dollar ride's so available in Lorain County. The services, and this bears, and I hate to interrupt your report, but this is really
please,
important.
this is important.
We're only required to run dollar ride within a quarter mile of a fixed route system, and our fixed route systems are not running in North Ridgeville and other Wellington and Avon, but you do see our dollar ride there. So how is our dollar ride there? Our dollar ride's there is because we're going out there to pick up people that are qualified under our Job and Family Services dollars for medical transportation or other transportation that is allowed under our contract with Job and Family Services. So when we run the schedule for pickup for those folks, we also pick up people along that run on the dollar ride that we wouldn't ordinarily be able to pick up.
Right.
Because we wouldn't go out there to get them. So we stretch out the dollar ride and able to grab those folks. Without those federal dollars from Job and Family Services, which we are matching with federal dollars, we wouldn't get out there. We would be within that quarter mile, give or plus, of our fixed route systems. So we've been able to extend that reach of the dollar ride by creatively cobbling together all of these dollars. That hasn't extended the fixed route, but it has extended the dollar ride, the on-demand service, paratransit service, into areas we could never afford to be in. And that contract with Job and Family Services is about $300,000 off the top of my head, close to it. And it probably brings in another 300 and something thousand, because it depends on, you get maintenance monies more than operation match, and I don't have it in my head. So it's probably the whole value of that thing's worth $650,000, $700,000 that's going into paratransit that we wouldn't have. So if we're going out to get somebody under their contract, maybe we're picking up a couple, 2, 3 that we wouldn't reach before. And now they're still paying for the paratransit when we pick them up. So that's fare box. But it's insignificant amount of dollars compared to the leverage dollars and the contract dollars. So there's the creative solutions. We got a lot of creative solutions going on, as many as we can find.
Be money.
The answer is always money, Commissioner. It is always money. But we're doing what we can. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. And a couple of the things that evolved from the forum, the fact that by today's standards, men typically outlive their driving privileges by about 7 years and women by 10. And sadly, they don't always stop when they should. But again, it's for the need of needing transportation and keeping socialization in their lives. But this was held at Kendall, and between the workforce group that was there to brainstorm on everything, we tackled things like the idea that there is a low volume. You don't always need a full bus to run everywhere, and the difficulty in providing alternative methods of transportation aside from a public bus because of the fact of all the issues that older people have a distrust. When we're talking about getting people to and from employment, you have the issue that their hours are non-traditional hours. They aren't getting on a bus at 9 a.m. They need to get on at maybe 5:30 or 6. So now that's a sparsely attended vehicle, as well as second shift overnight. So we tackled a lot of issues, a lot of things that we will be regrouping on, trying to get organizations who do have quasi-transportation methods, how they can work together. And what they stress throughout the day, it is baby steps. We can't look at this like, okay, we're handling transportation. We're taking baby steps to fix a solution. It will never mirror the transportation modes that we saw of the past, because we have households now where there are 2 vehicles. We have households where there is a lower need. As Ms. Shay said, people don't want to be taxed, they don't want to pay for it, and as we try to put together a transportation system, we have to find something cost-effective, meaningful, and methods of providing a true value and service. On the same day, I was able to meet with Eric Morse from Nord Center. They have some good things they're going to be working on in the future, and he was just really bringing me up to speed on some of what they have been accomplishing and where they intend to go as we look forward into 2020. Wellington was flip the switch. Hats off to Wellington on this project. They initiated their solar fields, and they began implementing the solar power usage on Saturday. It was a nice event. Mayor Grafton, I'm sorry, Village of Grafton.
Why did I miss something?
Whoa, my apologies. I wanted to have a shout out to Wellington on their gas problem that they face, but no, this was the Village of Grafton, and they are doing a great job with the solar implementation. Some private homeowners will benefit from that as well as the village. On Saturday evening, I was able to attend the Amherst VFW Barnyard event. Just another way to support our local VFWs. Monday was the Road to Hope breakfast, and as Commissioner Kokoski said, they did raffle off a car. I was surprised. Just not all that many entries in there. I kind of thought I would drive home a new car that morning, but I did not.
You know what? My son Jordan said it was a Honda Civic, and he says you're not allowed to even park that in your driveway.
Yeah.
I said, well, I've always said I've never bought a foreign car, but if somebody gave me one, maybe it would be okay.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, and Jeff Cam said he called me to draw the ticket, and I said, no way, I'm in that drone. So. That said, just an awareness on today's media event at our collection center. Cleveland did Cleveland media came out to recognize us for our battery disposal service, because we're one of the few that even have a method of disposing of batteries, as well as I am totally taken aback by recycling paint. So if you can get out there, otherwise watch for the reports on that. And then Saturday from 9 to noon at LCCC, there is a Veterans Resource Fair, and veterans may want to stop by there. It's always a good opportunity to learn about resources that become available that they may not be currently aware of. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Commissioners will not meet the week of Thanksgiving, which is next week, and then the commissioners will come back on December 3rd, which is a Tuesday, to meet, and will not meet on that Wednesday the 4th. So,
County Commissioners Association in Columbus, so we won't be around.
Won't be
Good-
Wednesday,
good
Thursday, Friday.
Good riddance. What?
Board correspondence.
I would move that the reading be waived.
I'll second.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
Okay, and as I stated earlier, we have the event over at the recycling center, so just so everybody knows, we'll end up recessing, and then when we come back, we'll end up going into executive session. So at this point, I'll make the motion that we recess
And then go into executive.
and then go into exec. Can I make those all in one motion, or do we have to come back
I would do it
separately? Okay.
Well, you wanna go into exec and then recess out of exec?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because.
be easier.
Is that okay, Jerry?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, motion to go into executive
I'll
session.
second.
Mr. Lundy.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Ms. Sweda.
Aye.
This has been a broadcast of the recent Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Wednesday morning at 9:30 at the Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings, and you are invited to attend. Agendas are posted prior to the meeting at www.loraincounty.us. Click on Departments to see the Commissioners page, then click on View Agenda for a printable copy of the agenda.